The negative equity problem in the car market is getting worse, and the latest numbers seem to prove it.
So you're paying $2,000 for both Hondas, correct?
Correct.
Why did you get two cars, two Hondas at $1,000 a month, man, plus insurance?
Yeah, this one's got 356,000 miles. I don't know if it's ever shut off. Apparently we owe $40,000 on it. If you're gonna drive that much, people, you gotta pay them down.
So today we're going to be watching hundreds of thousands of dollars disappear from people's wallets in the form of car depreciation. I think these videos are pretty important to make because, as we're going to see, there's a lot of people that don't realize that this could happen to them until it's too late. I don't want to make this intro too long because we have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with some stats before we get into the horror stories.
The negative equity problem in the car market is getting worse, and the latest numbers seem to prove it. According to Edmunds data for the fourth quarter of 2025, 29.3% of trade-ins had negative equity, the highest share since early 2021. That means a significant portion of buyers owe more on their loan than the vehicle is worth when they walk into the dealership. The average negative equity on those trade-ins reached a record $7,214, and 27% of underwater trade-ins carried at least $10,000 of negative equity, also an all-time high. Now, this trend isn't just about today's market. It reflects 2020-era pricing dynamics. During supply shortages and high demand, buyers often paid near or above MSRP with limited lease options. Now that prices have normalized and depreciation has kicked in, many are finding themselves owing much more than their vehicle's value. Stretched financing terms have also played a role. Longer loans are increasingly common for buyers carrying negative equity. The practical impacts is real for both buyers and dealers. Customers rolling negative equity into a new loan may face higher monthly payments and can find it harder to build positive equity going forward. This means that understanding true trade-in equity before structuring a deal is now more important than ever.
And hopefully more people will realize this as we watch the clips in this video. But we got a pretty crazy comment from you guys right here. I was talking about auto loans with a coworker last year. She had a 2024 Nissan Sentra that she bought brand new. Her APR was 45% on a Nissan Sentra. Now I'm a little confused with this because 45% sounds like a buy here, pay here lot. But most of the time we are talking about used vehicles, because if you bought a brand new Nissan at the dealership, they wouldn't be allowed to have an APR that high. I don't know, maybe she got a payday level loan before she went to the dealership, or just got it from a buy here, pay here lot, but that sounds like a nightmare. And not really surprising, a lot of examples of people having tons of negative equity are on very expensive luxury vehicles. The Mercedes, the BMW, the Range Rovers. But we could take a look at an absolutely horrible deal when it comes to just a couple of Hondas.
So you're paying $2,000 for both Hondas, correct?
Correct.
Why did you get two cars, two Hondas at $1,000 a month, man, plus insurance? Hello, it's Yusuf at Audi Cafe.
Hi. It's Khalil.
Hey.
I'm all right.
All right, man.
Are you hearing me clearly?
I'm doing good. Sorry about yesterday. It's been nonstop here at the dealership. So your Honda, you're paying $1,000 a month. You got 24.9% interest. Just tell me what you got.
All right. So I have two Hondas. I have a Civic, a 2022 Honda Civic Sport, and I have a CRV 2018. For the CRV, I'm paying $999 a month. For the Civic, I'm paying $862 a month. The APRs on both cars each are 24.97, and the other one is 24.60. Now, that's killing me. I don't live here in Florida.
Where do you live?
I live in New York. However, I have the CRV here with me.
So that means he's running up the miles on the vehicles as well, let alone the almost $1,000 a month payment each. How do you accept a deal with 25% APR 2 different times? And it's not like he bought one of the top trim levels on the full-size SUVs. He just got a CRV and a Civic. Like I said, I don't know how you accept that deal in the first place, but this comment from you guys goes very well with it. I don't understand why people don't research before buying a car, and then they get into negative equity just to trade into a different car and overpay, because that's exactly what so many people have been doing over the past few years.
You have a Jeep right now with 45,000 miles on it that you're looking to trade in.
Yeah, definitely has a negative. I owe like 47 on it. I know they have the value. I bought it on 2022. It's not a lease. I wish it was. At this point, I'm ready to get out of that car. My main goal is to try to roll that negative equity into something.
You have 20 grand of negative equity. That's the problem. On a 3-year lease, that in of itself is like a $500 payment. What's your monthly budget for a lease, tops?
Right now, just to SUV since here I pay $1,053 for this car. I would love to go way below that if I could.
You cannot. You would have to get some kind of a cheaper Nissan or a Mazda just to even have a payment similar to what you have now. I don't usually say this in these scenarios, but given the alternative,
It's better to stick to it.
yeah, because think about it. You bought the car in 2022. This is your 3-year anniversary with the vehicle. I'm going to assume you took a 6-year loan. That's just the most common. You have 3 years left. It's the equivalent of a 3-year lease. Because you're almost done and because the negative equity is so big, if you took a similar payment to drive a downgrade essentially and be at the same payment, it makes no sense.
And I understand what he's saying, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the guy is stuck in a $1,000 a month Wrangler without talking about insurance costs as well. So probably $1,200-1,300 a month. And if you've heard any of the news with the 4xe models, they are very unreliable, have a ton of problems. So you're going to be going back and forth fixing it up. They've already discontinued the whole line, which means this car will depreciate even faster than it already is. I mean, just a terrible situation overall.
If I was in the market for a Ford Expedition Max, I would not be buying a new one. When you look at this example with all the 2023 to 2026 Platinum models in here, we can see what's happening with the outgoing model year for all these new ones that are out there. Dealers are already 12% off and they still can't sell these things. And we see the future of this and the depreciation. And sure, yes, nearly every car does depreciate, but the fact that these things have lost nearly 50% of their value in 3 years and 35,000 miles, there isn't any way I am buying a new one and losing like half of my money in 3 years. So what I'd be doing is this. I think the sweet spot here is 2023s. When we zero these out and go just to 23 and then isolate any outliers here for list price, take a look back at the market, I think the sweet spot is right around $58,000 with 35,000 miles or less.
Still almost $60,000 for those types of vehicles. But they're so popular right now, the Yukons, the Escalades, the Suburbans, the Expeditions, and they all follow the same path of terrible depreciation. Even the 2023 is going to lose a lot of value very quickly. But this comment from you guys goes very well with those types of vehicles. Big ego and pride equals financial issues that nobody wants. But you feel good pulling up to your kid's school in one of these vehicles, and I guess for some reason that's worth $60,000, $80,000, even $200,000.
Who in the right mind is spending over $200,000 on a Cadillac Escalade? This is the Escalade V, it's the very souped up, powerful version, and they sound great and look pretty good too. But in no universe, in no world, is this car almost $220,000. You are gonna lose a lot of money if you pay this much for this car. And there's just so many better options out there at this price point. You can literally go get a lightly used 2023 Escalade V for under $110,000. And this price makes sense for this car. It's a lot of car for this money, and it's a great it's probably the best 7-seater money can buy right now. But you're gonna go pay an extra almost $120,000 just because the front lights look a little different. This car will depreciate to where this car is now. So if you really have to have an Escalade V, go get yourself a 2023 and save yourself $120,000.
But again, that $110,000 is going to drop every single day as well. And like I always say in these videos, if you have the money to purchase these vehicles in full, be able to cover the insurance, the maintenance, all the gas completely fine, then I don't care what you do, go buy whatever you want. But as we already saw in the first clip, not many people are in that situation. But they still go out to dealerships and sign on the dotted line so they could look wealthy to everyone else around them.
These things were selling for like $160,000. Now they're selling for about $90,000. Is there anything you're gonna do to this XM? Like, what are people doing to these when they buy them?
This has gotta be my family car.
These are getting popular nowadays. Prices are good, that's why.
A nice power.
Yeah, it's good power.
And it's a lot of space.
So this is your M4?
Yeah.
Does it have cats?
No.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Has cats?
No cats.
So it's got dogs. Are you gonna put the cats on for us?
I can.
Is it a cat back?
Valve exhaust.
Valvetronic, or what is it?
It's a Chinatronic.
Chinatronic? You can put it back to stock. So we just did that deal, traded in G82. If you were to have one car in stock, would you have an M4 or a BMW XM? Obviously you'd have the M4. The XMs don't sell that well, but for the price point of like $90,000 to $95,000, it's starting to sound pretty appetizing.
I don't think it's very appetizing. It is very overpriced for what it is. And I like in the first half of the video, he said, you know, these are getting pretty popular nowadays. And then near the end, he was just happy to get rid of it off the lot because they're slow sellers. Along with him trading in a modified M4, that lowers the value of the car as well. Even with it costing $90,000, the value is going to drop pretty quickly. I'm already seeing some of them around me in the 70s. And we got a couple of interesting ones up on screen right now. Me being a DoorDash driver with my not paid off almost 190,000 mile 2008 Prius. Now, if you are doing that kind of work, this is probably one of the best best vehicles you could get. However, it definitely needs to be paid off, and going over to the description, it's not much better. Honestly, the best car I ever had, but I still owe $8,000 on it. Oh man, that changes the entire situation. You think you could hurt my feelings? I still owe 15 grand on a car that's now valued at $3,500 and not expected to last that long. But going back to modifying your car, I mean, if you do anything like this, I hope you're driving it till the wheels fall off, because it has basically no value anymore.
Man, everybody keep talking trash.
We'll just go right over to the comments. That steering wheel needs to go. Why are we doing this to economy traffic cars? Bro, it sounds like COD hit markers. That one's pretty good. I just wanted to put that in. I thought it was pretty funny, but we'll go back to some terrible depreciation.
56,000. Don, I'm actually alarmed at what the trade number is that I'm seeing here. It's like 33.5. And this is basically a current model here. It's a 2025 that had an MSRP of what, 63? Yeah. Never used to be like this with Wranglers. AccuTrade can still see the listing of when this car was new. A little over a month ago, 66,165 was the MSRP of it. Or that's what it was online for. Well, it makes sense. The number is 33,550. So they're going to be 23 grand upside down. They used to hold their value so well. We're going to need some monies down to do something. They're looking at a coupe. We have, I think, a demo or two left. Really up until COVID, when Jeep started jacking up their prices like crazy and overproducing. 33,550. Well, think about it, dude. That car's literally got like $30,000 worth of options. You don't get all that back. That car's a base $37,000 car.
Losing that much money in a single year is just unreal, and they're already trying to trade it in. I don't know if this is a regular occurrence for whoever owns that vehicle. I feel like they'll just be underwater on their vehicles for the rest of their life, or until they show up to the dealership one day and no one will approve them.
In front of me, I have the window sticker for our most depreciating pre-owned vehicle we currently have. Let me flip it around. Here we go. 2021 Audi Etron Sportback. Original MSRP there, $90,640. Tons of options here. Forgive the printer, it's run out of ink. Gotta get some new ink for it. With 38,000 miles, it's being sold for $26,459. I know a lot of you guys on here are a little bit iffy about EVs. To each their own, but at a price like this, does it start to make sense?
I still don't know about that one. I remember watching a clip with you guys where someone was going through how bad the quality of the interior was, especially if you bought it for $90,000. I remember there being a top trim level in the 160s. It did not seem worth it at all. But it doesn't end with the Audi EV sedans. The SUVs are taking a hit as well.
Client walks to the showroom. He says, hey, I have an electric vehicle. I want to trade it in. I've had about 2.5 years. I don't keep my cars much longer than that. And I just want to get a new electric vehicle and, you know, reset the warranty because my warranty is about to expire on this car. Because he drives a lot of miles. The warranty on an Audi is 4 years, 50,000 miles. He had around 45,000 miles. So the car that he had, it was a 2023 e-tron S Sportback. This is a picture of what it looks like. It's a very nice car. It looks very nice. And he financed it. So the car, brand new, was $103,000. That's a really high sticker price. It's a pretty expensive car. And his payments were around $2,000 a month. So we assessed the vehicle in its current condition and miles. We appraised it at $35,000. He's only had the car 2.5 years. His payoff on it was $70,000. He had $35,000 of negative equity. That's a lot of negative equity. Usually $5,000, $10,000 is a lot, but $35,000 is an insane amount.
And I can't really be surprised that the depreciation is so bad, because before this clip, I've never even heard of this vehicle. I've never seen it on the road at all, and I'm guessing that it doesn't sell well. So even if it was a six-figure vehicle when you bought it a couple years ago, the secondhand market does not seem to like this one at all. And that's how you light $33,000 on fire.
Let me peel the Band-Aid here. Okay, I got a customer here right now looking at one of our G-Wagons. I hate to do this to you, but we're gonna work it a little bit backwards. Why's that? Well, he's got a 2022 Range Rover full-size. Nice car, but here's the problem. He's got over 90,000 miles on it. He's still got to pay off.
How do you get it so low?
Yeah, right? So we're probably dealing with some negative equity.
How much does he have the original MSRP for it?
Yeah, car's about 120 new.
Okay.
47 grand? Yeah, this guy's not going to be happy. He owes right around $80,000. So we're only dealing with $33,000 of negative equity.
Well, assuming he's got cash down.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's got money. I mean, I don't know how happy he's going to be with his trade value, but he's got to understand the current market and the situation. And
I'm talking, he's buying a G-Wagon. You don't come in and look at a G-Wagon without.
No, I get it.
And I understand what he's trying to say, but in the world of social media and everybody wanting to show off to everyone else, you have a lot of people faking that lifestyle. So they're going to buy the Range Rover and then try to get the G-Wagon, even though they have no business in doing so. Maybe he does have the money to pay off the Range Rover, maybe he doesn't. But either way, not a situation that I want to be in whatsoever. And we could take a look at one of the comments. $47,000 honestly seems strong with that mileage. When you're getting close to the six figures on the Range Rovers, they're just going to start having a whole host of problems. And with being a luxury brand, that's going to cost a ton of money.
There's no worse feeling as a salesman than having a customer that wants to buy a car, but they can't buy a car. I just had a young lady call in looking to trade out of her current Hyundai Tucson and just into something different. Now, the reason she wants to trade out of her car is simply because she just doesn't like it. She told me on the phone that if she's making payments on something, she at least wants to enjoy what she's driving. And to be honest with you, her reasoning makes sense. I get it. Nevertheless, I tell her to send over her VIN number so I can see how much her car is worth, and then also send me the bank that she makes her payments to so I can pull the payoff. I end up plugging her VIN number into my system, and her car in excellent condition is worth $19,000. My manager then throws her VIN number into his portal to pull a payoff, and her payoff on the car is $36,000. This means that she's $17,000 upside down in her current car loan. Now, because she's so upside down, there's no way that I can get her into a different car at a comparable payment. So pretty much I just have to break everything down to her and explain to her that right now is not the time to trade out of that car. After the call, I was kind of wondering, why is her payoff so high on this car? Turns out the car that she bought was only like $24,000, but she bought all types of products. Warranties, tire protections, theft, all types of stuff. So that ended up driving her payoff to the moon.
So she got upsold at the dealership, took all the bait on a vehicle that she didn't even really like. Is there no research done other than showing up to the lot, looking at a car, thinking that it looks nice, taking it out for a test drive, 5-10 minutes, and then signing your name on the dotted line, being on the hook for 5 figures? I just don't understand it. And there's another person in the comment section. I don't like my Hyundai Tucson and it hasn't even been a month yet. Then why'd you buy it?
You won't believe how much this car's depreciated over the last 3 years. Here we have a 2023 Traverse Premier with about 70,000 miles on it. This is all silver. This is a Premier edition, so there's plenty of bells and whistles on it. Plenty of bells and whistles on the inside here with the cluster touchscreen wireless touchpad. And then, of course, you got your 3 rows of seating in the back. So there's plenty to this car. With all that being said, this car had an original sticker price of $48,000. So in this time of 3 years or 3 generations of cars, it has gone down $18,000 because we have this listed at $30,000 compared to what it was. So that's just to show how fast a new car can depreciate in that time. And the Traverse is usually a better holder of value compared to some vehicles. But even with that, that's still $18,000 over 3 years.
And I don't really know about that one. I don't think these hold value pretty well. On top of all the issues they have, but we can go over to the comments. $30,000 would have been a fair price when new. I'd rather buy a bicycle before that. It's terrible. That's why too many issues with them. 65% used up, $15,000 tops, and $30,000 is still too much. That was basically the entire rest of the comment section.
Porsche owners are having a bad time. You can now buy the most powerful Taycan for the same price as a Golf. Owners who bought Taycan Turbo S's new in 2020 paid £170,000 with options. Today, early cars can be bought for less than £50,000, a loss of £120,000 in 6 years, the same price as a highly spec'd Golf R.
Now I know these came out in the peak of the EV popularity, and along with Porsche popularity being on the rise as well. I personally think they look very nice. I still wouldn't get one for even $50,000, but if you paid $170,000, I don't really know what else to say anymore.
We got a guy come in looking at one of our trucks, wants to trade in his 19 F350. Typically, you're going to have somewhere between 50, maybe 100, 130,000 miles if they drive a lot. And this one's got 356,000 miles. I don't know if it's ever shut off. Apparently, we owe $40,000 on it. If you're going to drive that much, people, you got to pay them down. Ones that have 100,000 less miles to 150,000 miles are selling in the market in the $24,000 to $27,000 range. So I'm thinking this is probably a $17,000 truck, maybe.
At that point, wouldn't you just drive it until it dies? That is an unreal amount of miles in only 7 years. So clearly this thing was a legitimate work truck, but we could go over to the comment section and take a look at the crazy truck market. Where are you finding a 2019 F350 with 150,000 miles for $24,000? If he bought it brand new, he bought it back in 2018. 6 years of paying, and he still owes $40,000. So to me, that sounds like the extended loan terms we're seeing, the 84, even 96 months. And it really only seems to be getting worse as time moves on. Soon enough, we'll hear about the 108-month term length. Find me a 2019 F250 or 350 with 150,000 miles on it for $24,000, and I'll bring you cash money. Every 2019 F250 or 350 I find, they're asking for $40,000 to $50,000. So I know a lot of people like to buy these trucks because they do hold their value relatively well, but if you're $40,000 in the hole when it's got over 350,000 miles, you are in a pretty bad spot.
Hello?
Hey, it's George. How you doing?
I got a 2022 M8 competition.
Yes.
I bought it on my birthday in 2022. I paid like $150. I barely drove it, bro. It's mint. It got 8,000 miles. Still got the warranty. That sapphire orange color with white interior.
How much you need for
So
it?
I'm ready to sell it. I'm constantly getting lowballed on it.
How much are people lowballing you?
85.
That's too much. Does it have buckets?
Yeah, it has the carbon core package, like the race car
It
mode.
doesn't have buckets though. Without pictures, how would you feel about 77?
Could you do 80? I'll jump out of it today for 80.
I'll work with you between 77 and 80. Let's get some pictures of this thing and we'll go from there. Nice car, non-smoker, no body damage?
Nah, no body damage, non-smoker, no accidents ever.
And where do you live?
California,
Oh,
San Francisco.
God damn it.
Why you say that?
I gotta be at 77. I'm not charging you shipping, all right?
Let's do 78.5 and it's a deal.
Let's do 77 one time, bro. Come on.
$150,000 down to 77, 78, and you barely drove the thing. And that's exactly what one of the comments said. 150K down to 77 for 8,000 miles is insane. I agree. He says he's getting lowballed at 85, then proceeds to take 78. I mean, I guess at least if you just want out of the car, it is a good amount of money, but just significantly less than what you paid.
I am $16,000 upside down in my vehicle. Let's talk about it. I bought a used car in 2020, traded, had great equity. I was getting rid of a car payment, my husband's financial advisor, and we were trying to make really smart financial decisions. That car broke down on me 50 days later, and then it was in the shop for 111 days, and I made the dealership buy it back for me, and they only gave me $1,000 when I had like $5,000 in equity. Now I know they didn't have to buy it back for me, but they did, and that was nice. I didn't trust driving that off the lot. I had to buy a car fast, quick, and in a hurry, and I got a Toyota Highlander. Great car, should have kept it. Dumb choice to get rid of it. It was a dumb choice. I got rid of it because my teenager is 5'10", and her knees were literally in her chest when I drove because she had to sit in the back seat. Bought it in February in a really quick hurry, like I said, and then bought a minivan in August. I have now had that car for a little over 2 years. August was 2 years.
And what you find out is that the minivan she purchased was a Chrysler Pacifica, which is the worst option if you are looking for a minivan. If you got the Sienna or the Odyssey, it would have been a way better situation. They hold their value way better, they're much more reliable, and the Chrysler just straight up isn't. And that's how you get yourself into 5 figures worth of negative equity when you already had a reliable vehicle beforehand, the Highlander. I know it's not the largest SUV on the planet, but would have saved you quite a bit of money. As soon as you said Toyota Highlander, I said you should have kept it. And I agree with that as well. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.